And we're back, part two. Just to clarify my last video, I meant in regards to the character Selena Kyle. She's fulfilling the role of, even though she's working, she's a working girl in terms of professionalism as a secretary and possibly working her way up to a higher level in terms of position. But I meant in the sense that her mother, that wasn't important to her mother. It wasn't like career achievement was. I didn't get a sense of that in the movie. Her mom was constantly pushing down her throat. When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna get married? So being a single woman was. That's what I'm saying. That it was just like that was frowned upon. You know, career kind of like okay, that's cute, like as a hobby. But when are you gonna get married and have kids? So, her opting, perhaps still putting herself out there. And we learn of a little bit in terms of her background, as like we do with Penguin, that she was very coddled and has this very fantasy like understanding of romanticism. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that her character is a virgin, but we are kind of led to believe that because she had this beautiful sign that was like neon, and I think it said hello or heaven or something like that. Something along those lines. Hello again or something like that. And she kept her apartment very much like a teenage girl. She had doll houses and a lot of dolls, those antique dolls that now kind of give you that creepy vibe, but they were collector's items back in the day. So, but because of that overachieving impulse that she had to always kind of, if anything, I think she was maybe even seeking approval, not romantically from her boss, but definitely, to be liked. And she oversteps her boundaries, or at least that's what he interprets her boss, and then he shoves her out. It was like early in the morning. She hadn't had any rest. Back and forth to the office, and he finds out that she had touched something that she wasn't supposed to. Knew the password by chance, which was his like beloved cat, and he pushes her out a damn window several stories down, thinking, well, that's taken care of. She's out the window. They find her. She slipped. But in reality, she does not perish. She, in fact, starts twitching, and it seems like as if, by the licks of all the stray cats that kind of gravitate to her, she survives. And even cinematically, it's just gorgeous. Like, it pans to her face, how it's like literally drained of any kind of like healthy color or living color. She looks pale like a like snow that surrounds her. She's very like white, drained of color. Her lips look blue, and she's somewhat, we are led to believe, saved by the cats that surround her and lick her wounds and whatnot. And she goes through some kind of convulsion and comes back to life, and now perhaps even has 9 lives, like they say. Now, when she comes back to her apartment, she survives. Nobody knows that. Her boss doesn't, for sure. And she has this craving for milk. She goes into a fit of rage, just remembering of like what just happened, and she puts it in her mind's eye that she's gonna seek revenge on her, anybody who tries to hurt her, especially her ex-boss. She crashes everything, and then the whole, I think, hello again sign, she turns into hell here. And or I think it's a hello there, and then it went to hell here, which was like really cool. And then she takes this like vinyl pleather jacket or something, like a combo of that, and then is able to, what we are led to believe, she stitches this all together to this gorgeous tight outfit and corset and whip. But obviously, any costume designers is like, no, it was not so easy. But you see her with like the threading and everything, and then turns this into this, and then you can see all the strays from her close by apartment building gravitate towards her. And she has like this affinity for cats. Now she's out on the prowl and happens to bump into our Michael Keaton Batman, I'm telling you, those suits, they really went through some kind of evolution as well. But this was like the first suit, and so it was like really tight to the body, pecs and everything. But I don't think they didn't put nipples, visible nipples on the bat suit until I think George Clooney took on the role. But nonetheless, Michael Keaton was very fit for the day, and there was this like, honestly, this on camera chemistry, which sometimes you don't know. You don't know what happens behind the scenes. I have heard rumors, and you can Google this. I'm not making this up. That I'm not saying that she was known like that, but she did have like a love affair with one of her co-stars, I think, from Dangerous Liaison. Hold on a sec. Yes, she Dangerous Liaisons. I forget, in 1988. That was when that movie came out, and she had like a little something with John Malkovich, and it fizzled out relatively quickly, but I think he stayed smitten with her for years after, and I don't know if they, I believe they're great friends, but I don't know if I'm not, and again, don't quote me, but these are things that I've heard or seen on YouTube where he mentioned something like she was one of those like great loves of his life. So I don't know if that was shared with Michael Keaton, but those scenes where, they are very close and intimate and she has to lick his face, at least the portion of his mask that is revealed, very sexy. So, I mean, these are staples of the movie that stays with you, and that's why it became so popular in pop culture. But nonetheless, they have this chemistry that honestly I haven't necessarily seen in recent Batman movies. Like, yeah, there's this like cat and mouse, literally cat and mouse game where there's flirtation. But this was like not raunch or vulgar, but very like, and it was just unheard of for that time for Michelle Pfeiffer to have like totally licked Michael Keaton's like from chin to nose. It was such a sexy scene, and I haven't seen that be replicated in any sense, like with any of the most recent Catwomen that taken on the role. Definitely with Eartha Kitt, though. She was sexy just by walking and just by doing that whole vibe, but this was a different type of sexy, and I haven't seen it be duplicated. Sorry. So I think that's why it still stands out to this day. Nonetheless, for some reason they can't piece together Bruce Wayne and Batman. We see Batman's lair. We see all those incredible gadgets, and not that we haven't seen them in recent years, but in comparison to this most recent one, I'm like they put him on a bike. Which again, I'm not saying that they can't have Batman on a bike, but he had all those interesting gadgets in his car. That was like a sleek car of its day when they first showcased that in that film, and how it can like literally turn into this compact thing whenever he finds himself in harm's way. Definitely when Penguin tries to take over his car and control it. It's like, and kudos to Danny DeVito for really transforming into that Penguin. I mean, he just like had this like animalistic vibe to him that it was credible. Like, it was just like you believed that he was like raised by penguins. And they do everything in their power, at least in this movie, to discredit Batman, to make him seem like he's the one that's the cause of all like the most recent violence in Gotham City. And her being Selena and Michelle's character, already resenting most of men, joins Penguin in destroying Batman's credibility. Although because she's so sexy, Penguin, Danny DeVito's character he's enamored with her too, and is under the impression like that's gonna lead to some, you know, some sexy time, and she lets it be known like I wouldn't even scratch you to touch you, and so of course then he tries to kill her himself, and then she realizes that she can't even trust him as well. So again, but in the meantime, she comes back to the office. The boss is like, "Didn't I like kill you? What is going on here?" So she's back in the office. She's back at these galas, but because I don't recall what company this was or what he represented, her boss, and but there was definitely a lot of galas, a lot of beautiful spaces and ballrooms that they use, and she's like, again, like, aside from the catsuit, she has these glamorous gowns, and she starts getting along with Bruce's character, and they also have moments where they're kissing each other passionately. I have to assume something happened between these two while they were filming. Sorry, it just the chemistry was too good, too believable. They did a really great job. But then they quickly realize that they were each other's arch enemies, and that perhaps now Selena may have to, kill Batman. But then she starts feeling feelings for him, which she did not want. Now, Penguin's plan goes down the toilet, and it's revealed that he's just corrupt, and so then again, very biblical sense of like, I'm gonna, just like I was the firstborn of my family and disowned, I'm gonna make sure that all the firstborn males are destroyed. So there's like this vengeance, and now they have to stop him at all costs. They are able to throw a wrench in his plans, and he meets his demise, but I won't spoil that for you. Unfortunately, it is the saddest sight, and how it's surrounded. He's again surrounded by animals, kind of like Selena was surrounded by kittens and cats. He's surrounded by his family of penguins. Um, and though Selena is so close to reaching her plan of just killing this boss of hers that is just nothing but greed and destruction, the way she approaches him too, she's shot several times, and again, very much like a cat, she survives. But the one last scene before it cuts to black is like, she's like, how about a kiss for Santa Claus? And she approaches him with, like, he's already kind of like tied up or something. She grabs like a live wire, and has also even like a electrical stun gun, and kisses him and electrocutes him. And you're led to believe like, oh no, our Selena's gone. And Batman and Bruce Wayne is still mourning her. And there's these excellent, beautiful shots of the city. Also, always we see the emblem of Batman whenever anybody is in need, the emblem logo. But you can see that although she likes the idea of him thinking that she's gone, she really isn't. She's just always kind of in the background, and we see her little mask rise, looking towards the moon and logo, and it's the most beautiful ending. So again, I just haven't seen that or felt that in a while since I saw this movie as a kid, and now rewatching it and reliving those experiences. It's like, it is a staple. It's Tim Burton's signature. The cast is phenomenal. You see them. Again, I love seeing early work and how their careers evolved over years and decades. But it's such a great watch, and to this day, it still stands out. Sorry, in comparison to anything new, no shade. I'm not saying that it falls short, but kind of does, because I don't know, and I'm one of those people who just loves the classics, how storytelling was in back in the day, and just how it differs. I don't know. That's just my opinion. You could watch it now on HBO Max. It's currently streaming. You can see all the Batman movies, including the most recent one with what's his name, Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz playing our Catwoman, Selena Kyle. And yeah, and not for nothing, I will review it in another video, but Colin Farrell as Penguin. I mean, he's brilliant at accents, but he does a phenomenal job. He's just unrecognizable in that film, The Batman, 2022 version, and it's also on HBO Max. So, y'all stay tuned. I'm about to review a number of other shows, like Guillermo del Toro's Cabin of Curiosities. That looks very interesting. Atlanta, I have to get back to. The Crown is coming back, y'all. Ooh, can't wait. And yeah, a number of other new shows are coming out, so stay tuned for that. And yes, we are listening to Susie Sue and the Banshees Face to Face. I think they did this song specifically for this film. I don't think it was part of like any record of theirs, but phenomenal. I also grew to love them and learn of them because of the film. So I love that. I love when great storytelling can introduce you to a plethora of other arts, music, composers, designers. Anyway, I hope this inspired any of y'all. If you love the cat mask, I will link the how-to in the description box. And please stay tuned. If you like what you see, give us a like, give us a share. If you like my videos, give us a follow, hit the subscription button and the notification button bell. Sorry y'all is late. If you'd like to follow me, and you will be alerted of my next video, review, DIY and haul. So please stay tuned and let me know, do you like the decor? It's a wrap now for Halloween, so you know we're gonna move into the more fall like decor, and yes, Christmas. So I'm looking forward to that. So stay tuned, y'all, and we will be right back with another review. Am I doing my best, Selena Kyle? Grrr. What is it? Grrr. How did Eartha Kitt do it? Grrr. Stay tuned, y'all. XOXO, Nerdy Girl.